Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today's video is going to be a video of books that I am excited or looking forward to reading in the springtime. First off, I'm going to apologize if you can hear my neighbors mowing their lawn. They seem to have like an acre of land when we don't have acres of land in Southern California, but he's been mowing his lawn for like the last hour. So if you can hear that, I apologize. But these books are going to be the books that I'm excited to read this spring. Now, no way are these new. Some of them are new, some of them are coming out. But a lot of these are ones that I'm reading off of my bookshelf. I have a ton of books on my TBR and I just need to start cutting it down. So these are just books that I'm looking forward to reading this spring, or that I'm choosing to read this spring. Not many of them are brand new, so not many of them are like new releases or anything like that. So if you've read any of these books, let's talk about them, please, or let me know what you thought of them, because I'm excited to read these. So the first one I will talk about only because I don't have it in physical copy because it's not out yet. It's coming out in like a week or two from when I'm filming this, and that is A War of Two Queens, I believe it's called, by Jennifer L. Armentrout. It is the 4th installment of the From Blood and Ash series. Yeah, I don't really want to go into too much detail because I don't want to spoil the series if you haven't read it yet. But this is the 3rd installment, and it's, or the 4th installment, and it's Poppy going to war with, is it Isabeth? I can't remember the other queen's name, but they're going to war, and it's super exciting. The series has always been good, but it's just getting even better, and especially now after reading Shadow and the Ember, which is the first book in the spin-off series from Blood and Ash. So I'm super excited to continue the story of Poppy and Castile. Can't wait for that. I know it's gonna be a good size one because all From Blood and Ash books are. They're nice monster books, and they're just great fantasy romance books. So super excited to do that, or to read that one. So hopefully you'll see that in my March wrap-up video, because I plan to devour that very quickly. Okay, these are going to be a mix of books because for springtime I love, along with summertime, I love romance books. Spring and romance just go hand in hand. But I'm going to throw in some different genres just to try more books, and I just have books I'm interested in on my bookshelf that aren't romance, and it's time to get to them. So the first one is going to be The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This one is very, very hyped on Book Talk, on BookTube, on Bookstagram, just book everything. It's very, very hyped, and I'm excited to give this a shot. So this follows a girl, and I don't know her name. What is it? Avery. Avery ends up being left a fortune in this will. She was left an inheritance in this will of a guy that she didn't know. So I don't know how that goes down or why it's gifted to her or whatnot. But it says $46.2 billion. Could you imagine having even a fraction of that? That'd be so nice. Live debt-free, don't have to worry about, you know, are you gonna have enough for groceries, or right now, are you gonna have enough for gas with these gas prices? That'd be just so nice to have a fraction of that money. Like just a little bit would be so nice. But the stipulation of this inheritance is she has to live in his house with his family who was robbed of their inheritance. Interesting concept, interesting story. That's why I picked it up. Not just because it's hyped, but because that has to be crazy. Could you imagine getting an inheritance from a man you don't know and then having to live with this family who probably hates you because you've taken their money? It's crazy. but she has to live with them in the house for a certain amount of time in order to get the inheritance. I think in there's like a love triangle or whatnot. I think there is 3 grandsons of this gentleman, and she's kind of interested in all of them, if that's what I remember. So it says secret passages, elaborate riddles, billions at stake. Let the games begin. It seems like an interesting story. It's very highly recommended. Hopefully it will not be a disappointment, and I'm really excited to give this a shot this spring. Okay, next is Royals Next Door by Karina Hale. So this book I did talk about in my recent book haul, and I picked this up because one, I think the cover is really cute. It's super spring to me. It just screams spring, and it says read me. So I am excited. This follows Piper Evans. She lives in a small little town, and royals move in next door. I originally thought this book was going to be about her falling for a prince or some kind of king, which I love royal romance books, but she actually, it looks like, falls for his bodyguard. So it's interesting. So this says, an ordinary summer goes royally awry when a prince and princess moves next door, bringing their handsome bodyguard with them. Sounds and looks like a cute little read for spring, so I'm going to put this on my TBR for the springtime, and hopefully I will like it as much as I like the cover. Okay, next is another very, very hyped and talked about book all over the social medias, and that is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. So this was a pick for September of 2021, last year, for book of the month. I did get it as my choice for that month, and this is just so hyped that I'm hoping I will not be let down. So this, I heard, is like a grumpy sunshine kind of trope. It is a, I believe, age gap trope. Okay, so this one, I had to read the cover because I really didn't know what it was about. But this follows Olive, who does not believe in love or happily ever after relationships, but her friend does. So in order to get her friend off of her back, she decides to kiss the first guy she sees, and it tends to be the new, or it turns out to be the new professor. And he decides to go along with her charade or her plan. So it's fake dating, which is one of my favorite tropes, so I'll probably love this as much as everybody else. So it's fake dating, and he continues to go on with it. So it's going to follow Olive and what is his name? Adam. This is going to be Adam and Olive's love story. So super excited to read about it, and I'm going to see if it's worth the hype. Next is One of Us is Next by Karen M. McManus, and this is the sequel to One of Us is Lying. I enjoyed One of Us is Lying. I really did. It was such a cute little like young adult mystery whodunit, and this one I'm hoping is going to be the same. And I believe this follows one of the, I think it's the next generation, or like I know Maeve, I believe, is the sister of one of the girls from One of Us is Lying. So it says, come on Bayview, you know you've missed this. A ton of copycat gossip apps have popped up since Simon died, but in the years since the Bayview Four were cleared of his shocking death, no one's been able to fill the gossip void quite like he could. The problem is no one has the facts until now. So it's the sequel. I'm excited. I didn't see all of the twists that came from One of Us is Lying, so hopefully One of Us is Next is very similar. It'll be interesting to see how Maeve and these four, what happens to them, and I don't know if, does someone end up dead? It's a truth or dare. It doesn't look like someone dies in this one, but it looks like the gossip site or whatever that he was running, someone has taken over and is doing, you know, releasing secrets about people in the school. So it'll be interesting to see, because we know someone took over his site in the last book, and we know who that was now. And I don't think it can be the same person, but we'll see. I'm interested. If it's anything like One of Us is Lying, I know I'll enjoy it. So if you do want a cute, like, young adult whodunit mystery book, definitely go pick up One of Us is Lying. And there's actually quite a few more. I have another one from her on the shelf, but she has quite a few of them, so I'm excited to pick more of them up and read them. My next book is another cute little romance book. This is Field Notes on Love by Jennifer E. Smith. This one I've had on my TBR before. It's been, I think I picked this up last summer, so it's been almost a year that I've had it. And I'm super excited that I do have it, because after I got it last year, someone posted that this was going to be a video, and I'm super excited. A video. It's going to be a movie. God, a video. Make it sound like I'm still living in like VHS times. But this is going to be a movie. I don't know if it still has. I haven't heard anything since then. But the cool thing about it is I didn't realize Jenny Han has a little quote on the front, which Jenny Han is the author of To All the Boys I Loved Before and The Summer I Turned Pretty, which Summer I Turned Pretty is going to be a series on Amazon. Super, super excited, because I actually fell in love with that series before, To All the Boys I Loved Before. So, super excited. But she says this is utterly romantic, and I'm super excited to read this. So, another thing that makes it exciting is last year at some point, Jordan Fisher, who is just one of like my favorite thespians, is posted that he's either going to be in or producing or both. He has something to do with this movie, and I was super excited because I'm like, oh, I need to read the book. And then I didn't realize that I got this in like a big haul I got off of, I think it was like Book Outlet. I got it for a couple dollars and I was super excited. So I definitely want to read this because it sounds fun and it sounds so cute. But the fact that Jordan Fisher is going to be involved in the movie makes it even better, because Jordan Fisher is one of my favorite Broadway actors. One of my favorite actors. He's a great singer. He can pretty much do anything. My husband has watched him stream video games, and like, so he's a fan. He's a favorite of my husband and I, so I could maybe get him to watch this movie with me. Who knows? Okay. But this follows Hugo. He has a girlfriend named Margaret Campbell. Well, he buys 2 tickets for a trade from New York to San Francisco. Well, his girlfriend dumps him right before. So he posts online and says, hey, I have a ticket, but your name has to be Margaret Campbell. So he finds someone with the name Margaret Campbell, and they end up going on this train together, even though they're not together. But then a romance blossoms between both of them, even though he was just dumped by a girl of the same name. Sounds interesting. I've not heard that plot in a book before, so I'm super excited to read it. Next one, I'm kind of mixing these up so they're not all romances. I think this is my last one that's not a romance. But this is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I think this one is actually very, very hyped and well loved all over social medias as well. This says you'd kill to be on it. So this is part of Reese's book club, and I haven't found a book that was on Reese's book club that I didn't enjoy. Everything I've read with that stamp on it, I've really enjoyed. So I am super excited to give this a shot. So this says, The Guest List, an exclusive wedding on a remote Irish island. The bride, the plus one, the best man, the wedding planner, the bridesmaid. All have a secret, all have a motive, but only one is a murderer. I didn't realize that this was based on an Irish island. This should have been on my March TBR, because St. Patrick's Day, Irish. This should have been a book on there, but it's not. So maybe I'll get this in April. But this one has been on my list for a long time, and I'm super, super excited to read it. Plus, she just came out with her new one. I think it's like The Paris Apartment or something like that. So, that's definitely on my wish list and my want to read, but I should probably give this a shot and read it first to see if I enjoyed this and her writing, to see if I will enjoy The Paris Apartment. But it just sounds, it says, evokes the great Agatha Christie classics, clever and taut. It just sounds like a good book, and I'm excited to give it a try. Everybody raves about it, so why not? So that's kind of like my last mystery slash whodunit thriller kind of book on my list. So the last 3 books on my list is, well, this one has been on my TBRs and my bookshelf for a long time. I haven't got to it, and I'm just going to read it. I'm going to sit down and finally read it. And that is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. So this one has definitely been hyped all over the social medias as well. And everybody says it's worth the hype. So hopefully I'm not going to be disappointed. I am looking forward to reading it. This is a book from November 2019, Book of the Month. So there have been 3 more released in the series, so I'm definitely way behind. I think I own 1 or 2 more of this series. I'm not sure, but I'm way behind and it's time to read it. So this follows Chloe Brown, obviously. She is chronically ill, and she pretty much lives her life based on her illness. And I don't have a chronic illness, so I don't know how that is. I don't know how it feels. I can imagine it probably, I don't know how to say it, but it probably just, it's not fun. It sucks, you know, chronically ill with the chronic pain, and it's just probably hard to understand. I know I don't fully understand it because I haven't experienced it. But I guess everybody in this book keeps telling her just to get a life, and she just says, okay, screw it. I'm just going to start doing things. So she has a checklist, and it says, enjoy a drunken night out, ride a motorcycle, go camping, have meaningless but thoroughly enjoyable sex, travel the world with nothing but hand luggage, and do something bad. So she enlists, I believe it's the help of the local bad guy. Yeah, Red, a handyman with tattoos and a motorcycle. So she enlists Red's help to complete that list. Sounds fun, sounds entertaining, and it is very hyped up, so I'm super excited to read and see what happens with Chloe and Red. Obviously, it's a romance book between them, so I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm gonna finally read it. Okay, next is a newer one. This is Love and Other Disasters by Anita Kelly. This was a pick from the January 2022 Book of the Month Club, and this has been hyped recently, and I want to put it on my list even though it's one of my newer ones because it has to do with baking, and you know me, I love it. So I definitely want to read this. It says there's nothing like a little competition to heat things up. So this follows Dahlia and London. So Dahlia her marriage ends up failing, and it ends, she's quit her job for the gamble of a lifetime, and she's going to be a contestant on the cooking show called Chef's Special. So maybe it's not baking, maybe it's cooking. Either one. It has to do with food and a food competition and romance. I love it. So this, and then I think she starts falling for her competitor, London. So it's a romance based in a cooking show, which please give me every single romance based during a cooking show. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I can't get enough of it. Okay, the last book on this video, or for this video, is one that has been again on my shelf for a while. It's been on previous TBRs and I've not gotten to it, and I'm going to get to it this spring, I promise you. Let's see if I can hold myself to that. And that is One to Watch by Kate Stamen London. So this one has always piqued my interest. This is from June 2020, and this has piqued my interest because I believe, from what I remember, this is based on The Bachelor but instead of a male, it's a woman, and this woman is curvy. So she's a little bit heavier than your normal girl that you see on The Bachelor or Bachelorette. You know, they're skinny, they're gorgeous, they're just, it's not attainable for a normal everyday woman. You know what I mean? So this follows a curvier, a little bit more heavy-set woman in the role of the Bachelorette, and she has all these guys fighting for her. I think that sounds pretty dang good. And I don't watch The Bachelor or Bachelorette anymore. It's gotten a little ridiculous, but maybe this book will be something I really enjoy. This book follows Bae Shoemaker, and it says she is a devastatingly stylish plus-size fashion blogger who has amazing friends, a devoted family, legions of Insta followers, and a massively broken heart. Huh. It sounds really interesting. It sounds like the perfect spring, summertime read for me, so I'm really excited to finally read it. If you can hear some of my neighbors going crazy, I don't know what is going on. It is literally in the middle of a Wednesday, and I have like neighbors screaming and cheering. Like, maybe there's a soccer game somewhere. I don't know. They're literally yelling and screaming at the top of their lungs. This day has just not been a great filming day. Screaming, there's been lawn mowing, a whole bunch of stuff. Lord have mercy. So those are the books I'm looking forward to for spring. Once again, these are no way in any shape or form new books. These are just me trying to get through my physical TBR shelves because I have a ton and I really need to stop buying until I read more of my books. So those are just some of the books I'm excited to read. This is what I'm going to try to stick to and read this summer or this spring. But you obviously know that could change. I'll probably add a lot more books to this pile. But those are just ones that I'm going to try to get to. So we'll see. If you've read them, please let me know. If you're planning on reading them, let's talk. And yeah. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to this channel and you would like to stick around for more bookish content, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. And until then, I will see you in the next video. Thanks!